Our study, Intuitive Thinking in Representation of Space, Narration through Architectural Model Making, covers the project process, the method, and the products carried out within the scope of model making course. The project was conducted with the students of Karakas Technical University, Arsen Vocational School Interior Design Associate Degree Program in the spring semester of 2023. Due to the earthquake that occurred in the southwest Turkey and affected 11 provinces, higher education was conducted remotely and online during the spring semester. Therefore, the project process presented various difficulties for both the students and the lecturer. The aim of this study is to share with the academics and professionals from different disciplines how a project process with many difficulties can be realized with appropriate planning. Representations are used to summarize the truth. Such summaries can take many forms, such as novels, photographs, films, models, equations, doodles, lists, and graphics. Architectural narration and representation become concrete with a model. Architectural models, which are among the visual communication tools, are an example of representation types. Architectural models are used for many purposes, such as the representation of spatial relationships, functional constructs, and especially the sense of space. Intuition may be defined as the power or faculty of attaining to the direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and inference, or quick and ready insight. The ability to directly perceive and form the truth without relying on tools, which is called intuition, is one of the basic features of mankind. Intuitive thinking is one of the problem-solving tools, and in the field of art and design, involves producing works using one's instinct. It can be used in conjunction with other analytical and strategic thinking techniques to create a well-rounded approach to projects. Reaching a solution with the intuitive thinking may involve these simple steps: identifying the problem, gathering information, raising awareness, trusting one's instincts, and visualizing. Intuitive thinking is a skill that is necessary throughout life and can be developed through experience and education. While intuition may not always yield correct results, integrating intuitive thinking with other analytical methods can lead to the emergence of valuable and innovative ideas. Furthermore, the use of the intuition allows individuals to personalize their learning experiences and make creative discoveries. For these reasons, intuitive thinking holds an important place in the teaching process. In order to adapt the students to the lessons after the earthquake, a theme was sought that would arouse their curiosity and encourage their creativity. Thus, the stories of Poe, an author they had not read before, were chosen. In addition, reasons such as Poe's certain style, the depiction of period interiors in his stories, and the shortness of his stories were influential in the selection of Poe's stories. Intuitive thinking helped the students to form their projects. They identified the project problem, gathered information about the architectural period. With joining the seminar, they raised awareness, trusted their instincts, and at the end, they visualized their interiors models. In order to achieve the aim of the project, we focus to provide students with the following skills: perceiving scale and ratio, be able to apply attachment techniques, be able to select suitable materials and texture for the scale of the model, be able to intuitively understand the atmosphere of the depicted space with details such as color, texture, size, decor, and furniture. In line with these goals, first of all, the necessary basic knowledge was given to the student as an introduction. The stories studied on the project were selected from the book Edgar Allan Poe Bütün Hikayeleri. While deciding on the stories, firstly the stories with interior descriptions were determined among the 71 stories in this book. The top 3 stories with the most votes were chosen. The intensity of the interior depiction in the story and the shortness of the story were effective in the selection of these stories. Each student read the story which they chose at first, analyzed it and took notes of the characteristics of the interiors. After that, they presented the space atmosphere that they imagined in their mind with a mood board. About the period that is told in the stories, 19th century architectural environment and movement seminar was held by Kücük Karakas. Thus, the students' knowledge about the architectural period, which was told in the stories, was developed. Afterwards, three-dimensional narrative studies were begun. Each week, students were given criticism on their 3D representations, and so they improved their models until the end of the project process. At the end of the 8-week process, 17 studies emerged. However, there were 10 students who attended the classes regularly and developed their projects. Since the students who did not attend the classes regularly could not receive enough criticism, so their projects have not reached the desired maturity. It's stated in the Duc de l'Omelette that there were big red lanterns hanging from the top, sculptures in cavities in the corners of the room. From the curtainless window shines the most terrible of fires, many gold-framed paintings on stone walls. The student 1 expressed her representation with the follows: small lantern with the gold chain hanging from the top, tiny sculpture on the corner of the room, the walls and the floor made of stone, a few gold-framed paintings on the stone walls, high vault ceiling with flames, throne of the demon, and Gothic-style windows. The student too expressed her interpretation about the space with large sculpture on the corner of the room, flames on the walls and high vault ceiling, scene shown hell on the wall, throne of the demon, and Gothic-style windows. Student 3 created his space with big red lantern hanging from top, large sculpture on the corner of the room, a few Gothic-style gold-framed paintings on the stone walls, ceiling full of cloud and lighting, and Gothic-style window and showing hell seen through. It's stated in The Devil in the Belfry that there were floors covered with square tiles, puppy-leg chairs and tables with slender, curved legs are made of black wood, fireplace pediments are wide and high, clock and cabbage carvings on the front of the pediment, and also a real clock in the middle, large and deep hearts. The student 4 expressed her interpretation with the follows: floors covered with square tiles, large highboy cabinet on the corner of the room, walls and ceiling covered with the wood panels, made of black wood table and chairs have pointed details, Gothic-style bench with high back, Gothic-style window, and a large fireplace. The student 5 expressed her interpretation about the space with floors covered with rectangle tiles, wall covered with wood panel, made of black wood table and the chairs without detailing, Gothic-style window, and a low fireplace. The student 6 shaped her model with floors covered with square tiles, walls covered with stone, made of black wood bench with pointed details, covered with cloth, Gothic-style window, and a large stone fireplace with pointed details. It's stated in the Mask of the Red Dead that there were the walls and the ceiling covered with black velvet, carpet made of the same material with the walls and the ceiling, windows with dark blood red glass, the blood-curdling and fantastic effect created by the flame lights of the mangal, large ebony clock against the west wall, and various ornaments. And the student 7 expressed her interpretation with the follows: the walls and the ceiling covered with the same black velvet, flowers symbolizing death on the wooden floor, Gothic-style large window with blood-red glass, large ebony Gothic-style clock against the wall, and large black chandelier hanging from the ceiling. The student 8 just built the interior shell and did not put any furniture but just blood on the floor as a symbol of the death. She just made the walls, the ceiling and the floor covered with the same black velvet and Gothic-style large window with blood-red glass. The student 9 expressed her space with the walls and the ceiling covered with black velvet, carpet lying on the stone floor made of the same black velvet, twin window with blood-red glass, large fireplace with ornaments on it, and long black curtains. And the last one, the student 10, represented the space she imagined with the walls and the floor covered with black velvet, large Gothic-style windows with blood-red glass, large ebony clock against the wall, fireplace on the corner of the room, a few gold-framed paintings on the wall, Gothic-style furniture, and a coffin made of black wood lying on the ground. It's always a challenge to create accurately a representation of a space atmosphere, which is described or imagined by someone else. After going through the selected stories of Poe, space atmosphere begin to realize in one's mind due to his detailed descriptions. The same stories were interpreted differently by the students. It was observed that some projects included allegorical expressions. For instance, the student 7 and the student 10 studied the same story but interpreted the death with different symbols. The student 7 symbolized the death of the prince with a red flower, and the student 10 placed a black coffin on the floor. All the students thought of furniture and decoration in Gothic style. However, some furniture, ornaments, and details are expressed in a way different from the Gothic. The spaces were generally described as dark, haunting, gloomy, ominous, and surreal. Poe's spaces are often characterized by darkness and shadows, as he creates air of suspense and uncertainty. Although the students had not read Poe before, they described the spaces with the same intuition. The seminar held within the scope of the course helped the students to understand better about the style of the architectural period in which the story is told. Thus, we can conclude that intuitive thinking helps students to imagine and model the space. At the end of the project, the models constitute a successful representation of Poe's dark, mysterious, and Gothic spaces. Thank you for listening.